Good morning, students.
Good morning, ma'am.
Fine, ma'am.
Good morning. Very less attendance today for the activity that I had given. That is the reason for less attendance. Okay. Anyways, when everybody comes, then I'll ask you to share your identified problem. Not today, okay? And you will not say to anybody who is not present here that ma'am has not taken this activity update. Okay? You will not tell to anybody. Otherwise, no one will join tomorrow also. Okay. All right. So let us continue with the discussion. So two types were completed, I guess: applied and fundamental, and descriptive and analytical. Right? Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today's then first topic will be quantitative versus qualitative type of research. Okay, these two type of research are also very important because here you get to understand that whether you will work with numerical data or you will go theoretical aspect. You will follow theoretical aspect. What you are going to do, that you need to understand, and that you can do, that you can understand by understanding these two type of researches. Okay, first one is quantitative research is employed for measuring the quantity or amount of a particular phenomena by the use of statistical analysis. Okay, so if you are following quantitative research, then the examples that I was giving last week, that you need to play with numbers, you need to collect data, then you need to select a perfect statistical tool for analyzing the data, and then you can apply that statistical tool, and then you will test the hypothesis or the assumption that you had taken regarding the result of the analysis, and then finally you need to take the decision and declare the result. So if you're following all those techniques, no, then you are doing quantitative research. You are playing with numbers basically. It means you are playing with numbers. Okay, and the next type of research, that is qualitative research. It is a non-quantitative type of analysis which is aimed at finding out the quality of a particular phenomena. Suppose you could not find perfect data for analyzing. You could found data, but you did not find any type of data which is applicable for your type of research, which what you want to test. You did not get exact type of data. Then what will you do? Then you will have to follow qualitative type of research. Okay, here you will not play with numbers, but you will have to give reference of the past researches, and also you will have to give reference of your own observation. Okay, here not much valid proof will be given in this quality if you follow qualitative type of research, because here you will not find any perfect numbers which will. People are joining and joining and joining. I cannot continue. Acha, anyways, so what I was saying that suppose you did not find perfect data. I hope you can see my screen. If not, you should tell me. Okay, I'm sharing a slide named quantitative versus qualitative research. So here, what I said, that in qualitative research, suppose you did not get perfect type of data with which you can play with, in which you can apply some statistical tools and then find out the result. Then what will you do? You cannot stop your research, right? Then you will have to go to various sources, various authorities to collect valid data of the past, and then you will have to refer to different works of different researchers who has worked in the same field. Basically it will be more of literature review kind, and from there you have to generate research inferences and put it in your own research, and then you will prove them with your own observation. Maybe you will find some documentary type of thing as a proof. then you will attach some documents which will prove your points. Like that you will have to prove your point. Are you understanding the difference between quantitative and qualitative? Tell me, are you understanding? Can you distinguish between quantitative and qualitative? Yes, tell me please. On a Monday morning, you feel the most sleepy, no? Only six people are there. Four, five. Anyways, I'm recording. I'll upload it. Okay. So, I hope I was able to make you clear that in quantitative you need to play with numbers, apply statistical tools, and then draw the conclusion. But in qualitative, you may not have access to proper numbers, proper statistical tool can may not be applied. In that case, you will have to make use of past sources, past researches, your own observations, documentations, proper documentations, references, all those things have to be applied, and then you will have to prove your point. Okay, it's not that if you are not finding yourself comfortable with applying statistical tools, you cannot conduct the research, you cannot prepare the project report. No, it's not like that. You can still do it. In that case, you will have to go theoretically and find out theoretical evidences also, like that. Then the fourth type of important research distinction is conceptual versus empirical research. Okay, you speak also. Okay, otherwise I'm feeling like I'm talking to the laptop. If you have any doubt, if you understand whatever, you can unmute and talk. Okay. So, conceptual versus empirical research. In conceptual research, it is generally used by philosophers and thinkers to develop new concepts or to interpret existing ones. And empirical research is a data based research which depends on experience or observation alone. It is aimed at coming up with conclusions without the regard for system and theory. So in conceptual research, what is important is that it is generally, conceptual research will be applied by the, who loves literature, love philosophers, who thinks a lot. Basically, the you will find the arts faculty or the arts members who are dealing with, so much thinking and conceptual things, without use of certain, applications in terms of numbers in numerical form. Those in those field you can apply this conceptual research. Okay, here the philosophers, what they do is they go on researching something, they go on finding concepts to something, to a particular area, and they want to develop new concepts from that existing concepts. They will go on studying, and then they will evaluate, they will analyze the present developments, and then they will try to develop some new concepts. And also they may also use this type of research in order to interpret the already existing ones. Suppose some concepts are already existing, such as 14 principles of Fayol. You have learned this in Principles of Management, I guess. Fayol's 14 principles. This is an already existing theory, right? Already existing concept. So in conceptual research, what you may do is you will go on analyzing the theory. You may apply practical implications towards the theory. You will apply those principles and try to find out whether they really exist or whether they really works or not. Like that you can apply the already existing concepts, and also try to, maybe you will try to add another 15th principle of Fayol to that 14 list. Then also you may not add a new concept, but still you may interpret the already existing 14 principles. Like that it is done. Okay, whereas in empirical research, it is mostly based on data which you can find, and it depends on experience and observation mainly. If you are following empirical research, you will have to move on with quantitative research also. You will have to apply numbers, and you will have to be in a position to develop or to draw proper conclusions depending on the numerical facts. Okay, and it is aimed at coming up with conclusions without due regard for system and theory. It may happen that there is no perfect theory which is backing up your results. Still, you will not care for it. You will draw the conclusions based on the result that you have found by applying proper statistical tool to your data set. Okay, so empirical research has to be collaborated with quantitative research also. On the other hand, conceptual research can be collaborated with qualitative research. Okay, is it clear? Tell me. Is it clear to all of you? Am I not audible or are you all sleeping? Yes, ma'am. Okay. At least one is listening to me. Sheetal is listening. About others, I don't know. What are you doing? Okay, anyways, then this four types of classifications which we have, okay, this four type of classifications which we have presented as distinction, but we have already learned 8 types of research. First one was descriptive and analytical, second one was applied and fundamental, third one was quantitative and qualitative, and the last one was conceptual and empirical. Okay, so 8 types of research we have already learned. These are the main classifications of research. Apart from this, also there can be some other types of research which you can follow. First one is one-time research. Okay, this research will confine to a single time period. Okay, say for example, you want to analyze the pandemic crisis that we are going on, started from March 2020 and it is April 2021. Still we are going through this crisis, so you can conduct a research on this, research on several areas, research on a particular area, whatever is your wish, you can do it. So this, your research will confine to a single time period, isn't it? You cannot take reference of past pandemic crisis of corona, because this coronavirus COVID-19 is a one of its kind, right? It has occurred in this time only. Previously there were coronaviruses, but not COVID-19, which is a new form of virus which has created this pandemic all over the world, right? So this type of reference, exactly this type of reference, you may not collect, because this COVID-19 is a newer form of the coronavirus, right? So in that case, your research has to be confined to a single time period. You will have to analyze all the facts and figures related to this time period only, isn't it? So that will be termed as one time research. Then longitudinal research. This research will be carried on over several time periods. For example, let me give you an example. Say the census of Indian population. Suppose the population you are following, the population movement. So what will happen? You will have to follow the census in order to have valid data in your hand. So when you will apply that data for your research, that means you are doing longitudinal research, because after every 10 years the census figures are appearing, right? So every time, after every 10 years, you will have to collect newer set of data and analyze that data, and then this you will have to go on for a longer period of time, very long period, several time periods you are taking, isn't it? So that is longitudinal research. Understood? Third is that you can see on your screen is diagnostic research. It is also called clinical research, which aims at identifying the causes of a problem, frequency with which it occurs, and the possible solutions for it. This is kind of a doctor's type of research. It may be not related to always the science field, but it may be related to managerial fields as well. But here what you will have to do is, you will have to like I have to ask you to identify a problem. This is going to be the first step of your research, okay, if you're not going for internship. So you do it carefully. Amongst you, I believe all of you have done it, but I'll not take ask you to share now, because there's not much listeners to you. So when there will be so many listeners during this week itself, I will ask you to share your identified problem. Okay, so when you're doing it, you are taking the first step of diagnostic research. Okay, you're identifying a problem. Once you can identify a problem, you need to go on for finding out the causes of the problem. Frequency, how many times is it occurring? Every time? Is it occurring at every home, or is it occurring at all the countries? That you will have to find out. Frequency, and with which it occurs, and also the possible solutions for it. Why the possible term is used, as I told you, that even if you can find a solution with the application of statistical tools or whatever research methodology you follow, still you cannot say that with 100% certainty that this is the perfect solution. Yes, the probability of your certainty will vary. It has to be more than 50%, only then that results will be accepted. Okay, so when you're following this entire step, you're already doing diagnostic research. Cancerial, finding out answers to cancer, finding out solutions, medicines, different medical amenities which can cure cancer. They will all fall under diagnostic research. This present corona crisis time also, when the vaccinations were getting developed, hopefully the vaccinations are working good. So they have found probable solutions, even after applying it on so after more than 40% of the population, still the authorities cannot say that this is the perfect solution. There is always possibilities. Always there will be possible solutions, not perfect solution for any problem. So when you're doing this type of research, you're doing diagnostic research. Okay, and next type of research which you can see is exploratory research. It is the preliminary study of an unfamiliar problem about which the researcher has little or no knowledge. It is aimed to gain familiarity with the problem, to generate new ideas, or to make a precise formulation of the problem. Hence, it is also known as formulative research. Exploratory research is what you could, I suppose, you have seen a problem, you are observing certain problem in the economy around you at your home, but you have no idea that what can be the probable cause of this problem. You have no idea about where to move on, but you want to explore it. The idea is such that is attracting you, that is generating the interest in you to conduct a perfect research on this idea and move ahead in this exploration. Okay, so you will have to do, you don't have any references of the past. You may find a little bit of reference with little bit of giving direction to your own research, but you will not find full reference. It is, they know that you have to get complete reference of something, then only you can say a thing. That you will not find, because you are the one who is going to take the step to move ahead in this particular field. So that is how this exploratory research will go on. Okay, you need to generate new ideas, and you need to make precise formulation of the problem. Entire problem has to be formulated precisely, and then only you will move ahead. This is also called formulative research. Exploratory research is also called formulative research. Next is experimental research. It is designed to assess the effect of one particular variable on a phenomena by keeping the other variables constant or controlled. Say for example, um, say for example, in a particular, in Salesian College itself, you have selected the 15 students of BBA first semester. Okay, you have selected 15 students of BBA first semester, and you have given maths tuition to them. For example, you as a senior, since you have already studied maths, and some of you are having good maths background also. So suppose you have selected 15 students from the BBA first semester batch, and you started providing them maths tuitions. Okay, so that is an experiment you are doing. That is an experiment you are doing on the entire batch. And then you have kept all the other factors constant. The teachers are teaching, they are coming to college, they are going out to shopping malls to shop, they are enjoying their free time, they are studying, whatever they are doing in their life, whatever they're experiencing in their life, that is constant. That means that is happening. Whatever it was happening, it is happening now also. But only thing that you have experimented is the providing of tuition as a senior batch. Okay, so and then you have started experimenting the facts which are resulting due to the tuitions that you are providing to your juniors. So here you are doing experimental research. After a period of 3 months you want to check their result, or you after the examination, their semester examination, you may compare their performance with the performances of the other students, and then you can conduct this experiment. That is called experimental research. Understood? Last one that I'm going to talk about is historical research. Historical research is about the study of past records and other information sources with a view to find the origin and development of a phenomena, and to discover the trends in the past in order to understand the present and to anticipate the future. For example, you have some money, you have collected 5,000 rupees, for example, and you want to invest in share market. So what will you do? Investing in share market is not an easy task. No, I'll ABCD. I like the letter C, so I will select a company called C. Then I'll invest. It's not like that, right? It's not like that. You have to have a good knowledge about the movement of this share prices. You will have to have good knowledge about the historical performances of a particular share in which you were wanting to invest. Like that, you have to conduct a proper historical research in which you can find out the origin and the development of the trend that is being collected by you. And in you will have to use that present trend and the past trend, and then you will have to anticipate the future. Only then you can take a valid decision about investing in a particular share, isn't it? So this type of research is called historical research, where you need to play with the data of the past and the present also, and you will have to do it in order to anticipate the future. Okay, so these are the different types of research. Is there any doubt? Please tell me. Before I move ahead with the other topics, please tell me if you have any doubt. Any doubt? Please tell me.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
This PPT is uploaded in Moodle also. Theory, don't worry about theory. You will get a bunches of theories in internet. Okay. You will have to write exam online, I guess. So don't worry about theory. You first understand what is research methodology all about. Theory I will also give at the during the month of during the month, this is April, no, April, May, June. During the month of June beginning, I'll give all the notes. But before that, you try to understand the concept of research methodology. Okay. Only then you can apply this methodology in your project work and start thinking about a particular problem area. Okay, because soon we will start our project work. All right. So now that you have understood different types of research, let me discuss the process of it. After that, from tomorrow, we will study the different steps separately. Okay. So today you see this flow chart, how this research process will work. As I told you, know that the first ever step of research is to identify the problem. So you start with step one, that is defining the research problem. Here you need to identify a problem, which I already told you. If you have done it seriously, then you have already begun your research. So after identifying the problem, if you have identified a valid problem, I want to see whether all your problems are valid and proper researches can be undertaken. I will see that. Only after that, only the faculty members approve. We have a different set of students who will work under us. So you will go to your guide and ask whether this is a valid problem in which you can conduct the research or not. Only after that you will do the literature review, where you will have to identify or whether you will have to evaluate the theories of the past and also the available concepts. Here basically you need to evaluate the research work of the researchers who have already done research in your field which you have selected. Okay, basically you have to do that, but without doing this you cannot move ahead. I'm telling you, some faculty may ask you to write down the introduction, finish off introduction by this month, do this much by this month, but let me tell you, this is not at all possible. Okay, you need to follow this step. Whatever your faculty guides are saying, you adhere to that, but before that you do your part, you do your duty. Okay, your duty is to find out the problem first, then you need to review the literature. Don't start writing introduction part without reviewing the literature. This cannot be done. If you're doing it, then your research is I am having a doubt in that research. Okay, don't do this. Start writing at the end. At the end you start writing. First you collect data, collect references, collect past works. Once the collection is done, 50% of your work is already done. Okay, rest 50% depends on your seriousness towards the research. Okay, so first you identify the problem. Second step, you will do the literature review. Third step is the development of hypothesis. Here you will have to assume things, and this can be done by identifying the research gap of the past research. Whatever research has been done, you will find some gaps. For example, this research did not included this, so results cannot be validated. This research has could have been done in a better way. That way you will automatically find out gap if you do the literature review properly. From that gap you will have to formulate the hypothesis, which will exactly incline with your identified problem. Okay, so you have to develop hypothesis keeping in mind that I want to prove something. If this is my problem, I want to find a solution to it. So your solution will be the background of your formulating the hypothesis. That is your third step. As a fourth step, you will now design the entire research. Designing means like when you buy a new house or when you want to change the structure of your room, you first design, no, before practically doing it. You will have to first design it entirely, that where the bed will be set, where the cupboard will be set, where the dressing table will be set, where the TV stands will sit, where the other stuffs, other decorating stuffs they will set. You will have to prepare a perfect design, right? Similarly, in research process also, in your business research also, you will have to perfectly design the research, in the sense from where you will collect the data, from how many people you will collect the data, which will be your area of operation, then how you're going to use that data, which statistical tool you are going to use. That theoretically everything you will have to write. You can do this after doing the literature review and finding out the gap. This research designing step can be done, and here you can start writing the introduction part. Okay, only after doing at least two steps. First one is identifying the research, second reviewing the literature. Only after doing this step, at least these two steps has to be done, only then you can start writing the introduction chapter. Remember, take my words. Okay, Some faculty members, I know, they will ask you to finish off introduction and this part by this month, like that you may be asked. But don't do it. Even if the faculty member is asking, you will do it, you will finish off it within 1 month, but you increase your task by yourself by first doing the literature review. After that only write the introduction. Understood? So once you do the research designing, then you start collecting data. Now you need to have to collect the data. If it is primary data, go, travel, go to the place from where you can get the data. If it is secondary data, sit with the sources which you have identified. On internet source, journal source, book source, whatever you have identified, sit with the sources and start collecting the data. So give some time to data collection, maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, like that. You will have a short project, so 1 week will be enough. If it is a big research work, like I'm doing, Rupam sir is doing, all of us are doing. No, Rudra sir has already done. Then Patrick sir is doing, Rupam sir is doing, I'm also doing. So like that, if we are doing so much broad research, we need to give minimum 6 months time to collect data. Okay, but in your case, since you will be preparing a small project work, so 1 week will be enough to collect the data. Then once you collect the data, that is for then you sit for analyzing the data. Here you need to have proper knowledge about hypothesis testing. I will teach you theoretically, but I will also show you certain statistical packages which are available, in which you can automatically do the calculations. But for examination purpose, you will have to you'll have to learn the calculation also. Soon after this PPT is over, this is a 56 slides PPT, I think. So once this gets over, I will take you to the hypothesis part. We will start doing the sums, okay? So that you can understand that which statistical tool has to be used in what set of data. And once you do it, you can interpret and then start preparing the report. See, in the last step, the reporting is coming. See, so I'm not asking you that you do everything, then you sit for writing. You can start writing, but only after at least doing till literature review. At least doing the second step, you start writing. Okay. Then once you interpret, suppose you could not find a proper solution, then you need to go for feedback. You go back to the loop, start again, and then again follow all the steps, then come to interpret and report. Or if you are able to find a proper result, then you can stop your research out there and submit your project work, like that. Okay, is it clear to all of you whatever I have taught you today? Please tell me. All of you should unmute and tell. Is it clear to all of you? Unmute and tell. Am I not audible properly? No, I am audible, I think.
Yes, ma'am. You're
Okay.
audible.
Sheetal, is it clear all the things that I have taught you today?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes, tell me.
ma'am, I have a question out here. Like, ma'am, finding a loophole in marketing sales,
Hmm.
uh, you asked to do such task, right?
Hmm.
But then I feel I have a lack in marketing and sales knowledge. So I don't know like much about marketing and sales till now. So like it's little difficult to find a problem in that sector.
Okay. Have you taken marketing as a specialization?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So then if you're sitting at home, if you're finding difficulty, then I suggest you spend an entire day in city center, or you spend an entire day in big bazaar, in any shopping mall you take. Okay. You spend an entire day. You go there at 11 a.m. and come back to home at 8 p.m. I'm suggesting you this. Spend a day and then observe each of the outlet. Okay, observe everything that is going in and around you. Then definitely I'm sure you will find a problem out there. Do it. I'm
Yes,
giving
ma'am.
you, yeah, some time. If you want to take a off, you can take, but do this, otherwise you won't be able to find out a problem. Okay, It happens. Sitting at home, it is very difficult to identify a problem. In that case, you will have to do the field work. Go it, enjoy, go with your friends, okay? Go to city center, enjoy the entire day, and also observe what is happening in and around. Why there is less customer in that store? There will be stores, no? There will be some stores where you will find hardly one or two customer entire day. There will be some stores. So why is it happening? Identify the problem. What is the problem out there? Go out there, talk to the shopkeeper, see his behavior, see his stock, see his variety, whether it is proper for attracting customers, like that. You can find out the problem. Are you getting my point, Pratiksha?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Do
one
it.
more
You.
thing.
Yes.
Ma'am, in the selected topic, what if that same topic was already selected by some other student in some other college and we don't know about it? So that will
No
not be a
problem.
problem.
No problem. No problem. If it is recorded, it will be focused in your literature review. Okay. If it is recorded, if it is come in the web, then it will be reflected in your literature review. Then you will definitely find at least one thing which you are thinking different from that person. You'll definitely find out that. So that will be a research gap, and you can move ahead with that.
Okay, ma'am.
Mm. It's not that your friends and your thinking will be exactly same. At least one or two things will be different. No, that way you can conduct. It's not a problem. You can find several topics say in the going in the similar fashion. If you do literature review, no, you will find several research works going in the same direction. Still, they are valid. So I'm telling you the names who are present today. Bikram, Pratiksha, Sheetal, Sejal, Yogesh. Yes, correct.
Yes, ma'am.
I did not miss anyone, right? I have not missed only five people. Okay, fine. Thank you for joining. And you start doing this steps of research. Okay, otherwise time will be very much less in your hand. So okay then. Thank you. See you again at what? What is the time for our next class? Marketing class. You all are there in marketing. Sheetal, you have taken marketing or finance?
Ma'am, finance.
Okay, very good. Okay, all right. See you at marketing class. Okay, bye bye.
Bye, ma'am.